Hello everyone, my name is Oscar Scafidi and I am here in Tunisia writing an English language travel guide to the country. So I'm here in Tunisia writing a travel guide to the country for a publisher in London called Brat Travel Guides. I suppose actually my partner chose Tunisia. So my partner is a teacher at an international school and she was offered a job here in 2019. So we moved over and then I decided I would write a travel guide to the country. I've already visited all 24 governorates in Tunisia as part of my job. I began the research process in February last year. Obviously that was a difficult time to start because of coronavirus. I've visited everywhere, but I will visit a few places again in order to visit other businesses that I didn't see the first time. So far I've found Tunisia to be fascinating. I was very surprised by the variety of landscapes in the country. When people think of Tunisia, they usually think either of the beach or the Sahara Desert. So when I travelled, especially up in the northwest of the country, I was very surprised to find mountains, places like Eindraham. You even have snow in winter, and the forest cover in that area in places like Bizerte. So there's a real variety of landscapes that I was not expecting to find when I began this process. So I've had the opportunity to try a lot of Tunisian dishes on my travels. As you can imagine, I've travelled throughout all the regions, so I've tried to sample everything, and I've included some of that food on my YouTube channel. I love spicy food, so I love harissa. It's been fantastic, which is very lucky. I also love tuna, so that's lucky because tuna seems to be incorporated into a lot of Tunisian dishes. Overall, I've found the food delicious. There will be a section in the guidebook actually dedicated to the different regional cuisines and recommending different restaurants and also different dishes that you can try in the different parts of Tunisia. I've had a lot of excellent experiences in Tunisia. It's very hard to choose one particular favourite. A couple of things that have stood out to me on my travels are firstly the archaeological sites in this country. They are world class. There are some incredible Carthaginian, Punic, Roman and even earlier sites. Some of them are actually UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and I was amazed by the level of preservation and also how empty they are. So I've travelled to some places such as El Gem, the amphitheatre. My friend and I, we were the only ones there. If you compare that to Rome, when you go to the Colosseum, you're never going to have that to yourself. You're always going to be surrounded by other tourists. So the archaeological sites have really stood out to me. Some of the landscapes have also stood out to me. So Jugurtha's Table, which I think is just down near Kasserine. That was absolutely fantastic. That's a big flat top mesa, a little bit like Table Mountain in South Africa. Again, had that completely to myself, climbed up the steps, was able to look out over the landscape. You're actually able to look into Algeria from there. I found that to be really beautiful. I've also had some really good experiences with some of the cities and towns here in Tunisia, so more of the urban landscapes. I really enjoyed my time in El Kef, which is a very high governorate capital, positioned up in the mountains. It's got some beautiful architecture, some very distinctive architecture from the Islamic period. And also Tabarka, which is way up in the northwest near the Algerian border. I really enjoyed my time in Tabarka, and you can see the Genoese fort there and various other types of architecture. Really unique. As I said, I'm a travel writer with Brat Travel Guides. So Brat, there it is. Brat are a UK publisher, and this is the last book that I wrote for them. So this is a guidebook to Angola that I wrote in 2019. And yeah, I'm here to write this about Tunisia. So it's going to have all of the maps required, all of the listings for hotels and restaurants, history section, lots of background information about the country. So it's essentially going to be an English language guidebook to Tunisia. And it's going to be the first one to be published in over 10 years. So I think the last guidebooks to Tunisia, written by publishers like Lonely Planet in English, were written before the revolution. So they were researched in 2009, written around 2009, 2010. So this book will be released in 2022, and it'll be the first English guidebook for over a decade. When the project is finished, I will stay in Tunisia. So I think the book will be published at the beginning of next year, so at the beginning of 2022, but that does not mean that I will leave. I would like to live in Tunisia for another 2 years, perhaps 3 years after that. So I have many other ideas for tourism projects that I would like to work on afterwards. So I like to do the research to a country, but also like to live in the country for a long period of time. I don't want to just visit briefly and then leave. So I hope that Tunisia will be my home for a total of perhaps 4 or 5 years. I'd like to finish by telling everyone, please consider Tunisia as a tourism destination once the pandemic is finished. So it has so much more to offer than people expect. It is not just package holidays on a beach in Hammamet. And if you don't believe me, please check out my YouTube channel. So I have a channel, Scafidi Travels, and I'm basically filming the entire process of traveling around the country. So you can see videos from every single governorate. As I travel around, I kind of highlight the best parts of that particular area. So if you are interested in ancient history, if you're interested in outdoor sports, hiking, camping, if you are looking for a beach holiday, if you're into the art scene, whatever it is, Tunisia has it to offer. So please check out the channel and see if you can find something that you're interested in. You can follow me on YouTube. My channel is called Scafidi Travels. You can also follow me on Instagram, just my name, Oscar Scafidi. And you can follow the project along on Twitter. That Twitter handle is Brat Tunisia, B-R-A-D-T. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.